Hello, traders. It is 8:01 a.m. Chicago time, 9:01 Eastern on Thursday, the 21st of June, 2018. A very dark, rainy day here in Chicago, unfortunately. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Well, the best news this morning is my fiber connection is in and it's super stable. I'm very happy about that. Goodbye, Comcast. Good riddance. I was really thinking about shorting that stock. As far as the market disposition this morning, allocation is mixed. Slightly risk off. We are trading below the prior settlement on all indices. The DAX and the Euro stocks are weakest. The DAX down 1.21%. The Euro stocks down 0.93%. Crude oil is also off. It has been trending down throughout the Asian and European session. It's making a pop now to the mid of the entire session. But overall, crude oil trading at 65.06 got as low as 64.34, off 1%. Gold is also off, oddly, down $6.50. Got to keep an eye on that. And the leaders today are the cable, which has had a pretty good pop, trading at $1 and almost $1.33. The Bund is strong. The bonds are strong. The notes are stronger, are strong-ish. But overall, other than gold, Euro stocks, DAX, and crude, everything is kind of mediocre in terms of being down. This morning we did get the Philly Fed release. It was the lowest since 2016. We also got initial claims. There's some stuff going on in Europe. Norway's looking at its first potential rate hike, and Italy appoints a Eurosceptic to a key government committee. Again, Italy has been in the news lately because of the turmoil in forming a government there. Not much else to discuss in terms of news. As far as what we're looking to for the rest of the day, we are looking for the U.S. leading index for May, expecting 0.4%. That may disrupt the auction today. And then other than that, we have a couple of ECB speakers, an ECB speaker and a Bank of England's Carney speaking today. The calendar's clear otherwise. Let's take a look at what we were about yesterday. So yesterday, we were anticipating an open that would be out of range from above. The key test was for an open auction out of range. Neither of these, we played out scenario 2 yesterday, but in reverse. We actually ended up pushing lower into the prior range, almost to the point of control, coming up and testing out the stock zone above at 27.80 and then finishing in the middle. So it was kind of the opposite, but we did not get what I really anticipated to be the play yesterday, which was a continuation, basically initiative buying away from this low. I had anticipated that this neutral extreme up is likely to put in the low for now and squeeze the shorts, which, by the way, on a cumulative delta basis have been quite active. The delta has been fairly negative. So the expectation was for the market to squeeze those sellers out, and in doing so to push to 27.88 and a quarter. The best the market could do yesterday was 27.78 and a quarter, 10 points below. at which point it closed that announcement by Trump and his administration on tariffs against China for $200 billion from the night before. That was at 27.78 and a quarter, which was the exact high day yesterday. But that's as far as it got. We had a neutral day. Volume was off. Volume was off about 25%, 22% really, of what we would consider to be common, which is 1.1 million contracts in a day session in the ES. We traded about 820,000 or so. Overall, neutral day. Here's what we actually got. We did get the open auction. Look at that. Just deadly. Open auction in range. Out of range. And then what we did is we extended the opening swing low down on this rotation down of about 6 points. And so the expectation was for a continuation, was looking for a test of the point of control and the close right here. It stopped just short of that by about a point. And then we went into the second consolidation, second box, kind of like Darva's boxes. A second box, which then broke out, went neutral, extended to 27.78 and a quarter. Again, that's the SOC for the China news. Then we pull back to the open, which looks really good for a continuation of 27.80, and then expected it to falter up there. But instead, it put in a lower high, and it moved right back into the opening swing, which put us into a neutral and completely Gaussian balanced profile for the session. So yesterday was a rest day. We did manage to push higher, but I got to tell you, if you look at how it's pushing higher, look at how this move occurs on price and just very little in terms of volume. The delta did not even go positive on the day. Remember, zero brings us back to zero delta. That's where we start. So the open brings us back to zero delta is what I meant to say. This green dotted line is the open, which corresponds with zero. And then as we go on in the session, we're just not able to get back up to zero. We're constantly hitting the bid more aggressively. There was just a huge battle. If you're a Convergent member, by the way, we had about an hour and a half impromptu yesterday. We walked through the trade to get long in here, where some heavy battling going on. This was a low volume node for the session, and we pushed to 27.76, which was what was anticipated, a retest of this week high that it had put in. But overall, we saw a ton of selling throughout. So it's interesting to see that. It seems like the ES has what is a topping formation on a multi-day basis, but it successfully gapped up and it's holding steady. Now, last night we tested all the way down to 27.62, 27.61 being a key low volume node from Tuesday. Let's look at the overnight for a minute. Decent range overnight. Look at that. Basically a bearish engulfing bar, essentially, on the day session from yesterday. Took out the high, tested very deep, up, remember, 27.88 and a quarter. 27.88 and a quarter is the key target. That looks like a snowman instead of an 8. Was the key price up above. It's the MC point of control. It's a key balance price. And we pushed on the high. We pushed to 27.85 and a quarter. So we were making our way pretty well there. 27.80 is a key over-under line for yesterday. Couldn't quite get to it, and then we pushed through, we retest, and boom, just fall right off with the European Open, which was right here. And we're staying below the mid, below VWAP. But we have an LVN. We're below yesterday's low. The inventory is kind of balanced. There's just about as much on top as it is below. And with a weak low. That is not an excess low there. There's a bit of an excess high, but weak low, looking kind of weak coming in today. As I said, allocation looks like it is to safety this morning. So the overnight session is saying, hey, we explored quite a wide range. I mean, we did 23.25 points overnight. That's a lot. And we finished up at the lower end of yesterday's range, neutral. And so the expectation this morning, hopefully you've drawn up your own plans, but the expectation this morning is for the market to struggle to keep prices higher. We're opening in range just out of value. Could pop into value here if it opens in value. In either case, we're looking for a noisy open auction. And we're looking for both sides to be active this morning. So we seem to want to explore, to be set up to explore this Tuesday profile, the neutral extreme high profile. So on the first plan, open auction, looking for it to drift lower, test the overnight, test the low that we had put in yesterday, and then looking for it to drift quite a bit today. On the primary scenario, I'm looking for a very quiet and very choppy trade this morning, and then I'm looking for it to turn over and then take out the overnight low on the stat. There's a higher probability where there's a higher likelihood that we would take out the overnight low than high to fulfill the overnight stat, which is 98% probability of touching the overnight high or low. And that's what I'm expecting on scenario one. Scenario one appears to be bearish. So the value area yesterday is very valid. So if it gets on top of the VPOC, I am going to look to offer or sell above there, build a position short. I'm looking for it to extend lower this morning. Secondary scenario, whatever color I use for that, I don't remember. Secondary scenario, I'm looking for an immediate open rejection to push us lower. Looking for a reversal. Oops, I overdrew that. Mouse slipped out of my hand. A reversal up, an impulse up that then regains this 2775, which is the MC point of control currently of this region. Consolidate, test higher, and finish in the middle. So I'm looking for a failed test below yesterday's low for the market to regain 2775.50 from the MC point of control of this area. That's scenario 2. Okay. The tertiary, or the third plan, is actually a trend down where the sellers start getting paid big time. So the third plan is an open test drive that get us through the overnight low, push down to 2753 for a small bounce, consolidate for the afternoon, and then start to drift down into 2750 again, where I expect a battle to take place down there. Scenario 1 and 3, sellers. Scenario 2, recovering and pushing higher. Okay, so 2775 is the key for scenario 2. I'm expecting the value area, or 2771, to be resistance for scenario 1. So I'm looking for resistance on the way up to sell against. If we test early and we come back into the range, we're looking at scenario 2. If we test up and fall out of the range but strong, in other words, open test drive, open rejection, reverse down, then I'm looking for scenario 3. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm looking for it to push quite a ways down to 2753. Okay. Don't forget, news flow dominates the cycle right now. The regime we're in is such that it's just markets just waiting around for these politicians to decide what our fate will be in terms of the economy and trade. Good luck today. Don't forget, without risk control, you're just a gambler. Your goal is to be here tomorrow to be able to trade. So don't let one or two trades get you out of whack, put you on tilt. If that's something that commonly happens to you, then seek help. Good luck.